Hey, what's up? It's Jason Cercone back with you on Breaking Brews on YouTube. It is time once again for another brief clip from the Season 2 launch of the Breaking Brews Podcast. In case you missed it, the Breaking Brews Podcast, the full season of Season 2, all 15 episodes will be going live on Monday, November 25th. Just in time for all of your Thanksgiving travel. It's going to give you a great opportunity to consume 15 new episodes. It's going to keep you busy for all of your car rides, all of your traveling, or if you're looking for a little downtime throughout the holiday week, pull up the Breaking Brews podcast and dig in. In this clip, I pulled this from the session I did with Certified Cicerone David Nilsen. And David and I spent about an hour unpacking the awesome subject of beer education and why it is so important to the continued growth and evolution of the beer industry. David does a lot of presentations and writing on this subject, so he was the perfect guest to bring on the show to tackle beer education and why it is so important. Take a listen to this clip from one of the upcoming sessions from Season 2 of the Breaking Brews Podcast. Enjoy. You see this a lot, and I see it on online forums and Facebook groups and you name it, and there's this level of snobbery that is tied to craft beer education. When someone tries to inform a person of where they might be a little off base with their comments and give them some actual facts, they treat that person as a beer snob. You know too much, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Where do you think this snobbery stems from, and why do you feel the education side gets labeled as snobbery from time to time?
Yeah, there's a lot there to respond to. For one thing, just like you were saying about the winemakers never being the snobs that people might think they are, most of the people who can actually tell you anything about beer are generally not snobs. The snobs are the people who don't know nearly as much as they think they do, and they're reaching and grasping to try to look like they do. I think the reason that we have that issue, that sort of anti-intellectualism where people react to any attempt at beer education or any attempt even at a person trying to acquire knowledge for themselves as snobbery or elitism, ties back to that working class accessibility that has defined beer for so long. That accessibility is a fantastic thing that I want to preserve, but it has led to this attitude that anybody who is trying to elevate the conversation around beer is betraying that working class, everyman accessibility around beer. And so, I ran into this just last week on Twitter. Some troll was going after me for being a Cicerone. I had said nothing about my knowledge level or anything like that. He had literally seen that I was a Cicerone and went on a rant about how awful we are for, smelling our beer, practically. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Was there something that triggered that? Other than just read your profile and see that you're a Cicerone?
I had a tweet that had gotten retweeted a few times about how I find annoying the people who look down on ordering beer flights, that are like, the only way to know a beer is to order a pint. And I was like, those people annoy me. If you want to order pints, order them. Don't act like people who are ordering flights are betraying the right way to drink beer.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have an opinion, David. I mean, come on.
No, not at all. So I had said that. He latched onto that and decided that was me just having my pinky in the air and my nose in the air and being all of a snob. And we're fighting this attitude constantly, that any attempt you make to talk seriously about beer is betraying the humble roots of this beverage. And I feel like I know there is a way to maintain both. We can learn about beer, enable other people to learn about beer, and still maintain the humility and the egalitarian roots of this beverage and maintain its accessibility to people in all groups. And when I do these classes, I am always working very, very hard to remove any level of intimidation, any level of snobbery. Nobody likes snobs. Right. I don't want them either. But this attitude that any attempt to just learn about beer is snobbery, I think is holding us back from being able to elevate the general conversation around beer.
I look back at the evolution of Breaking Brews, and when I first came up with the idea in 2013, that was my goal. I looked around at what was already out there in regards to websites and resources that people could access, and it seemed at that point like there wasn't a ton of sites that would talk more about the experiences, the culture, and ultimately just opening up people to this world to make beer more approachable. And I felt like in order to do that, I had to create a website or a resource that was approachable as well. So that was the direction I took. But it still seems like even with these types, I mean, now there's many more platforms, and podcasts were a thing then, but now they're everywhere. And you look at, we're doing a podcast right now. So I still think about this on the level of social media evolution and all these people becoming more sensitive on these networks and using these networks to express their opinions. I often wonder if things like that are going to negate the progress that we have made or negate any potential future progress. What are your thoughts on that?